Hello and welcome. Today we want to do the final part of our graphics question. All the other parts have been solved. So you can check out the playlist. We have done the Apple code, the byte 1, the byte 2, the Apple task. So all the other parts have been done. This is the first one, the second, the third, the fourth, and then we are now going to focus on the last part. Okay, so you can check us out on Tasima online to see all the other parts. Okay, so on this question paper, we are now going to be solving this last part, the old core. Okay, so on the old core, we can see that everything else is still there, just there is color change, and we can see that it's a bit tilted. Okay, and there is no leaf. Okay, that stalk and leaves have been removed. So we are going to go to our Illustrator where we have this as our Apple core, which is the last part we did. So we would want now to use our free transform tool, okay, or our shear to now tilt this, and then we change the colors. Okay, so what we can do, we have realized that this part here is no longer needed. So we can actually ungroup, right? And then if we want to remove this part, we no longer want this part. So we can delete this part. And then on this, now we will use our free transform or our shear. And if you don't see those tools here, you can just click on these three buttons. When you click on these three buttons, it will allow you to look for the tool that you want. This is the shear tool. It's already they added to me. That's why it's grayed out. And the reflect, we already have it. The rotate, we already have it. The scale, we already have it. Okay, so the ones that you see in white here are the ones that are not added. Okay, so if there is a tool that you want to use, right, you can come here, select the tool and just drag and drop it to add it onto your tools. Now, for example, we have added the measure tool. Now we can see that we have the measure tool now listed there. Okay, so that's how we add on. Now on how to then tilt this one, we are just going to make sure that we have our shape selected, right? Let's group it. It's already grouped. Let's try and move it. Okay. Let's group it so that indent, it needs to, oh, okay, right. So now we have these two tools, right? And then we are going to click on our free transform. We click our free transform. Let's select the shape first. Then we click on our free transform. Okay, so free transform is going to allow us to share this. Okay, because this is not rotating. If we rotate, you can see that the base is actually moving. And when we look at the question paper, the base is still seated as it is. It's just that the top part is the one that has moved. Right. So for us to do that, we cannot use that rotate option. Okay. So what we will do is we'll take our cursor at the center, right, on the top part, because that's the one we want to move. We click and then we drag to the right. You can see that the base part is not changing, and you can see on the question paper that it's a bit reduced. So we are moving to the right and shortening it a bit. Okay, so you can see that this our shape has been tilted. Okay, it's now tilted like that. Okay, and then the base is still sitting. Okay, then after that you can now say, okay, let's change the colors. So you're now selecting the shapes, and then the colors, we want to make them darker. Okay, so it's now a darker red option. Okay, let's select again to pick our shape. Let's change the color again. Okay, so we can see the change there, and when you are satisfied with the color that you want, you then click and you can see the effect on the shape. And then at the bottom part, we want the same color with that one. So when we click this bottom part, you can just even use your eyedropper and you pick this one, right? So that it just picks that same color. Oh, okay. If you continue moving the eyedropper, it picked the white. Okay. Now we have, let's change the indent. Okay. So our indent, he had a gradient, right? So we need to adjust the gradient so that it now picks the colors. We want it to pick, let's close that one. Let's go to the indent again. So I'll use black, and the other one, instead of white, we want it to also be a dark color. We can pick on that one or even that one. Okay. So now when you put the gradient, you can see it appearing there, or you can even let the gradient pick the same color as this one, so that when it shows, it's also going to be mixing and making sure that it's going to pick the color of the shape. So we can use our eyedropper. So let's say for this color, let's use an eyedropper and let's pick that color. Okay. Okay. So it comes out better. We pick the color that it's mixing with. So we can see our indent, the black part and the mixing. Then after that, we pick on the other part. So on this one, we want to also make changes. We go to our fill and we want it to be darker. Okay, so what we are doing is changing the shade so that it becomes darker. Okay, then we go to the inside part. So this one, we also want it to be darker. Okay, right, it is picked the shape. Now we click and we darken the shape, we darken the color. And for this one, we also see that the outline, okay, it also has a color, light color. So we put an outline like that. So you can see that that one is showing in a color, okay. And let's see if our seeds changed colors. Our seeds, they also have an outline that is around them. So we are going to go and click on the seed. Now with our seed selected, we are going to darken the color, and we are also going to add a stroke, right? A stroke that is almost yellowish. Something like that is our stroke. And you can see that we can see that round part. So instead of using those ones, we can delete them. And then we use our Alt. Okay, so we are now just using our Alt to create copies of this same shape. Okay, so this would be the final part of our graphics task. So this is going to be how it's going to look. Everything has been darkened, and then we can see the outlines of our seeds and that. So this is the end of the whole graphics task. So let's keep practicing so that we can pass our exams. Okay, so let's meet in the animation question. Bye for now.